everyone. Before I start the video, I just wanted to announce that this will be the last video that I post on Save Station, probably for a very long time. I'm going to be dedicating all my time towards the Geek XP, which I've merged over to. Save Station is now within Geek XP, so all my videos will be posted over there from now on. If you're interested in following me over there, please go ahead and subscribe to the Geek XP. I'll be doing the exact same content that I did here over there. So just check it out if you guys are interested. Alright, into the video. Hey everyone, I'm Carson and welcome to the gaming segment of the Geek XP. I have quite a lot to go over today regarding Breath of the Wild, so strap in. But before we get in there, I would just like to warn everyone that there will be spoilers for Breath of the Wild here. So if you don't want anything spoiled about the game, dungeons, small details, please click out of this video. There will be spoilers, so you've been warned. So with that, we're going to get right into it. So I would like to preface this video by saying I actually had a script written for a pre-Ocarina of Time timeline theory for Breath of the Wild, and it was going to be really cool. But that idea was completely trampled by the onslaught of news that was revealed a couple days ago. Yes, as a few of you may have heard, Game Informer had a massive information dump on Breath of the Wild. And all my salt aside from losing my script, I must say, damn, they went in with their coverage of the game. As you can see, the cover for their March issue has some awesome exclusive art featuring Breath of the Wild. Most recently, Game Informer released a 51 Q&A with Miyamoto and Aonuma. In this interview, there were 3 questions in particular that stood out to me as being the most interesting. The first question that stood out to me the most was the very origin of my saltiness for losing my script. Does Breath of the Wild take place before or after Ocarina of Time? And this was just asked out of nowhere, and all of a sudden I was kind of taken aback, and the very simple answer was after Ocarina of Time. So anything before Ocarina of Time, we can just smudge that out of having any possibility of being where Breath of the Wild is. So we can just only look at the 3 timeline splits right now. So that's been cleared up. Doesn't really help a lot in narrowing it down, but it helps a little bit. The second question I'll talk a little bit more later on in the video, but this pertains to shield surfing or snowboarding in the game. The question was, can Link actually get a snowboard instead of a shield for surfing? And this very simple answer was yes. And I found this kind of very interesting because I thought it was just going to be limited to shields, but it seems like Link might actually be able to get some object that's more of a snowboard and maybe better for actually surfing on. Thirdly, the last question was probably the most important one out of all the 51. The question was, is Tingle happy? And Aonuma decided to answer this one, and he said he is happy all the time. And you know what? That does not surprise me at all, since just in all the games he's very frolicky and just kind of helps Link sometimes and acts kind of weird. Overall, it was a surprisingly funny interview, and I highly recommend checking it out on Game Informer's website. I will go ahead and leave a link in the description below for you guys to check that out yourselves. So before this 51 Q&A video, Game Informer was allowed to play a new area and dungeon in the game. They even got to face the dungeon's boss too. And I haven't seen the dungeon or the boss yet. I'm trying to stay spoiler free for that kind of stuff for myself. But if you guys want to check out that, go to Game Informer's. I believe they have it in the magazine, so if you want to subscribe, you can get it. Or you can go to nintendoeverything.com. They have a list of everything that their articles went over. So I'll put the link in the description below for that if you guys want to look at all the spoilers. In terms of everything else, I'm going to pick out all the most important details that I thought were interesting from the article. So let's dive right in. So the first section of the Game Informer coverage deals with the stables. Game Informer was dropped down right by a stable called Serene Stable or Saren Stable, and this one is run by Yamo. Link can rest in a bed and restore health at these stables. Stables also let you store horses, meet with merchants, and NPCs. We saw that Beetle from one of the previous screenshots was around a stable, and I'm sure he's on merchant. He'll sell you things, or you can buy things from him. Maybe you can sell things to him to make money as well. Stables are located throughout the entire world, so if you need a rest or something, you always got to look out for that huge horse carved statue at the top, or wooden carved statue at the top. You can spend rupees on more expensive beds at these stables, and then in the morning you'll have extra hearts, so they're yellow temporary hearts, and if they're hit in combat they go away forever. Red hearts are permanent, yellow hearts are temporary. So yeah, that's all the stable info that came out of there. The next section I'd like to talk about is regarding the horses, which, like I said before, can be stored at stables and registered there. So horses are very important in this game because they allow you to get around much quicker than running around or walking around. And what's important about the horses is their affection slash loyalty is very important. If you don't have a loyal horse, he might buck and throw you off and you'll take damage. He might not do what you want. He or she might not do what you want. So this is very important when choosing a horse. You can feed and take care of the horse to raise their stats so they can have more spur icons so they can dash more often and sprint. For calling your horse, in the past you could call Epona from wherever in the world and she would show up no matter what. They're making this much more realistic in this game. To call your horse, the horse has to be within earshot. Now I would imagine animals have very good hearing, so it's probably going to be from a good distance away, but you couldn't just call your horse from anywhere in the world. Like I've said before, Epona is in this game, she has been confirmed, but we don't know how to get her or where she is. And a very, very interesting thing is your horse can die. Now, you can't do any damage to the horses, and I don't think friendly NPCs can damage the horses, but any kind of enemy can damage your horse and kill your horse. So if you put all this work into a horse, leveling him up, making him super loyal, him or her, and the horse dies, gone forever. So I would definitely keep in mind maybe some saves. Save at important points, so if your horse dies, you can maybe go back to your last save and keep that from happening, because you're going to get super attached to your horse. The next section of info is more miscellaneous, more regarded to the weather and shrines. So spending time by fires in the world will allow time to pass more quickly. In the past, we've seen Link use songs, like the Song of Time, to slow down or speed up time. In Ocarina of Time, you could go between being a child and an adult really quickly. But in this game, the way to do it is by spending time near a fire. Fires also keep you very warm if it's very cold out. Now, in this game, there's a dynamic weather system, so inclement weather could all of a sudden occur, like storms that could end up really hurting Link. For example, when it starts raining outside, NPCs outside will move indoors to get away from the rain. Now, Link has to be very careful during thunderstorms. If he has a lot of metal, this can attract lightning towards him. Metal weapons and shields can be discarded or thrown at enemies. If you need to get out of the way of lightning, get rid of your metal and run for cover or something like that. Link can be killed by a lightning strike. I'm not sure if he can survive one or not, but who knows, we'll have to wait and see on that. Now, difficulty in the world will spike and dip continuously, and this is because the creators wanted you to be able to explore wherever you wanted to. So you could be running around and all of a sudden encounter a super powerful enemy. That doesn't mean that you need to go back where you came from. You just need to go around that enemy and maybe come back at another time to face him when you're more strong. So this is a very dynamic world, and you're going to face very tough foes that you're not going to be able to defeat right off the bat. So it's very interesting. Now, in regards to the shrines, shrines are identified by an item that you get. They let you know where they are or if they're close by. And once you discover a shrine, it can be used as a fast travel point. So that's really important for getting around this huge world. Fast travel is huge, so you don't just have to rely on your horse. Now, when you complete a shrine, they give you a spirit orb, which eventually can be traded in for an unknown item. I'm guessing it's some sort of upgrade for Link himself, maybe? Or special, more powerful weapons or something like that. Very unclear what that could be. We could debate on that all day. And then lastly, for the world, bears, wolves, and deers will move through the snow. Gotta look out for bears and wolves. And I'm sure you can hunt all these and eat them for meat and regain hearts. That's a big part of this game, is cooking your hunted meat and eating it then. So yeah, very interesting stuff. Alright, the next section that I looked at starts with Aonuma wanted players to choose their own path in the game. So no companion character is in this game for that very fact. In Skyward Sword, we saw Fi was very constant in telling you what to do and where to go. And it was very annoying, and it felt very restricting sometimes. So Aonuma, I think in a direct result from Skyward Sword, he's answering everyone's questions and saying, look, you can go wherever you want in this game. It's very important to him that this happens for the player. Next is a stamina meter, encompasses sprinting, paragliding, and climbing. I would also like to include swimming too. Swimming, you can just drown if you run out of stamina, so that's important. Unless they changed it from the demo, I doubt it. but swimming you lost stamina meter as well. Now the meter can be upgraded. Now this is huge, because I felt like in Skyward Sword, I felt like my stamina meter went away too quickly, and I saw some of the demo for Breath of the Wild, and I felt like the stamina meter was depleting super quick. So I'm so glad that the meter can be upgraded, but Nintendo won't say how you do that. So I'm going to be looking for that immediately, because that's just going to open up way more exploration if you have more stamina. Different shields have different speeds and level of control for snowboarding. So this is a really awesome. We also got confirmation that there might actually be a snowboard in the game, and I'm guessing that'll probably be the best way to surf on snow or on the ground. This is awesome. Like, these small little bits of detail in the game are awesome. I really appreciate that from Nintendo. In terms of marking places that you want to remember in the game, you can place stamps and mark areas of interest, and you can use 100 of these symbols on the map. Some of these symbols include a sword symbol, shield, bow, arrow, pot, star, chest, skull, leaf, or diamond. So you can use these for whatever icon you want to signify. You can just set that on the map and try and remember what you want to come back there at some point. And lastly, every style of a weapon has a unique set of animations and feels different. This is just like what I said before with the shields. Awesome tiny bits of detail like this really make a game awesome, and I really appreciate it. Next bit regarding weapons is not a single weapon is invincible in this game, and that kind of makes me wonder, like, can you break the Master Sword yourself? Is the Master Sword not even invincible? That seems a little annoying to me, but if you're constantly getting weapons in the world and they're readily available to you, that doesn't bother me too much. A kind of interesting little thing is Zelda can get mad at Link and scold you, so I guess at some point Link might do something that really riles up Zelda. I don't know if they're going to try and go for a romantic angle between the two like they did in Skyward Sword, but I don't know, that'd be kind of cool. I'd like to see their relationship develop more. This has been told from the very beginning. Players can see the ending without seeing everything from the story. Once you get off the plateau, you can go right to Ganon and see what's going on with the game there. I'm not going to do that through my first playthrough. I will in the future just to see if I can do it. But yeah, that's really awesome. A certain element was added in the game to make a more cohesive storyline. I'm going to do a future video on this, maybe theorizing what this could be. There's a little bit more info on that in the article, but I'll talk about that at another point in another video. This was the most difficult game to make, and I can tell you why. This is because of the physics engine that they employed in this game. It's crazy all the things you can do in this game, and it was super buggy for the team, I'm sure, so that's probably why it was very difficult to make. And what's crazy is Aonuma is still finding new things in the world himself, and he's one of the creators of the game. So that's super awesome to hear. All these tidbits I just went over throughout this video, very cool. As I mentioned before, there is a lot more to go over, and you can go see that for yourself from Nintendo Everything. They break it all down, and that's in the description below. They went through a dungeon and found a boss of it as well, but I'll leave that untouched because I don't want to spoil it for myself. Well, I hope everyone found this as interesting as I did. If it wasn't obvious at first, it is apparent that the Legend of Zelda team really spent a lot of dedicated time on this game and polished it as much as possible. We are about 3 weeks out until Breath of the Wild is released, and the hype is only intensifying. So keep it locked here to the Geek XP for more Breath of the Wild coverage. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you at your next save.